Politicians and celebrities make deals behind closed doors, promises broken in their income source. Hidden agendas run the grand parade, in the circus choose a masquerade. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. I've been given money, power, and fame to keep you in line.
Welcome, everyone. Today I will be talking about how to avoid being the nice guy who gets friend zoned. So I was fighting on Twitter and this topic came up, so I decided it'd be a good thing to talk about today. So first we're going to go into some of the reasons why you keep getting friend zoned. So there's quite a few, so you have to bear with me and try not to get into your feelings because we want to do better, and the only way we can do better is if we stop getting in our feelings and realize some of the reasons. Thank you, Tariak. Oh my God. Anyways, so the first reason you might be getting, and this is for guys and girls, generally everything kind of applies to each other. It's the same thing. And if you think girls don't get friend zoned, you're wrong. Girls get friend zoned all the time. I'll give you some stories. Anyways, so let's start with make good decisions. Okay. So women like someone that they can look up to and they can trust to like make good decisions for them. They don't like to make decisions. Women invent terms like decision fatigue. So decision fatigue, yes, this is the thing. Women are overwhelmed by thinking. So if they can get a guy that makes really good decisions and they always say this online, shut my brain off. If they can do that, they're going to be super happy. So be able to let the chick shut her brain off. Okay. So we have to trust your choices. You have to have everything under control, not ask for a lot of help, especially like from a woman. Don't ask for advice from a woman. Have like a network of strong, capable men that you can trust for advice. Go to them, not the women folk. Women folk are for like when you need comfort, like after you're wounded in battle, not like how, should I do this or should I do this or this? Like, don't be giving women a whole bunch of decisions and choices to make. They don't like that. Their brains explode. Okay. Also, you don't want to be a tyrant. So you have to listen. Like if you're a good leader, you listen to the needs and the wants and the concerns of the people around you. And then you do what needs to be done, but you don't just go, I don't care about what you think. I'm going to do whatever I want. Anyways, also, if the girl or the guy, because this works both ways, if the girl or the guy, they're marriage minded and they know you're not, that you're just screwing around, you're just wasting time, you're like, you don't even know what you're going to do next week, let alone next year. You've never like had any like conversation about how you want your life to go with them. They don't even know if you want anything to happen in your life. So like if they're marriage minded, they usually date people who are ready to get married. I mean, that should be self-explanatory, but of course it's never, but here we go. That's what they're doing. So seeing where it's going, or just seeing what happens is not okay for someone who has a plan in their life. So for someone who's going places, they're not gonna be okay with this wishy-washy bullcrap. So dating for them is very goal-oriented, mindless dating, waste of time. They're not going to do it. So if that's the person who you like and you're like, why are my friends? That's probably why. The other one is you are hard to please or unhappy. If you are just a generally miserable person, everything's a problem, nobody can make you happy. And this is guys and girls. I've seen both like this. I mean, you might be shocked to hear this, but a lot of people don't want to date you just for that reason alone. If you're just like impossible to please, you're always negative, you're always complaining, you're just a miserable person, and you have this vision in your head that if I find the right person, then I won't be negative and miserable and unhappy and hard to please, you're wrong. And that's why nobody wants anything to do with you. So probably want to do something about that. Also, there is bring equal value. So equal value doesn't mean the exact same thing. It means everything has a value, and like generally all the things you bring and generally all the things they bring are about like matched, right? So it could be like the guy could bring financial freedom for the woman, and the woman can bring social status, a network, beauty, whatever, things like that. There is a value exchange, and the things are both pretty much equal footing. Not in all areas, but generally, right? So also emotional stability and availability, right? So people who are, you can roast me all you want. Anyways, so people who are not emotionally stable, don't have the ability to control their emotions, it's not going to make people really want to be around you. Like if you blow up under stress or you fall apart anytime things don't go your way, you're not consistent. Your moods are up and down. Your anger is up and down. You don't have any boundaries, and then you freak out at people. People like people who are pretty emotionally, especially if they are. And usually the person you want, I mean, I don't know many people who, unless you're just very shallow and you're like, they look good, fine, whatever. But if you're very like intentional about who you like, it's usually somebody who's emotionally stable. Because why would you want to be with someone who's constantly blowing up and crying or screaming? You can't take them anywhere. If they have to wait in line, they start getting impatient and cursing. You don't want people who are psycho. I mean, why is this something that people don't understand anymore? It's kind of weird. Anyways. The other one is weakness to beauty. And this can also be weakness to, like for the female version will be like a weakness to like someone who can give them more financial freedom. The person who's always like BBD, bigger, better deal, bigger, better deal. So like the girl who's like, oh, that guy looks like he has a yacht and 2 sports cars and 5 houses. You just have one of each. Like you don't want that type of chick. And also like the guy who's like, oh, her boobs are bigger. Oh, her waist to hip ratio is better. Oh, like these are the type of people who are just like always trying to one up in superficial things. Everything superficial. They always want to one up people. Their whole like goal in life is trying to be like the queen of superficial bullcrap. These people, weakness to beauty, weakness to materialism, they're weak people. They're not people you want to have a relationship with, and surely not build a life with. Okay. So yeah, avoid. Okay. And don't be that person, because then you'll get nothing. Different life goals. Just like maybe the girl has ambitions or life plans that don't align with his. Let's say he wants to move to another country. She wants to live close to her family. He doesn't want kids. She loves kids and wants 20 of them. Right? Different life goals. These people shouldn't be dating. I don't care how compatible in other ways they are. They're not dating compatible. The other one is just incompatible values in general, like your fundamental beliefs, your morals they differ significantly. Like he thinks he could be Andrew Tate and have 15 wives. She wants like a very religious, conservative lifestyle, one family, like lots of kids, whatever. These people should not be dating with each other. Like, come on. He thinks lying is okay. Lying, cheating, and stealing to make money is okay. She wants to do everything by the books. He hates going to family functions. She's very close to her family. Like things like this. Like these are not compatible relationship. We're not talking about leading. We're just talking about why she doesn't like you or why he doesn't like you. We're not even in a relationship, so nobody can lead something that doesn't exist. Okay. So past experiences. Maybe somebody had bad experience with a similar type of person like that you are. Let's say you're an Indian girl or an Indian guy and they previously dated an Indian girl or guy, and that person lied, cheated, and ruined their life, let's say. And they have a bad taste in their mouth and they're just like, I will never trust someone like this again. People like that. Like they had one bad experience with a blonde and they're just like, all blondes are this. I won't ever date, people like that. So if they've had that experience, you're out of luck. Move on. Okay. Then we have emotional availability. She might sense that he's not emotionally available. Maybe he's very distant. Everything is superficial. And she's like, I don't even know who he is. Or she knows his emotions are invested in his ex-girlfriend still, or his other friend that he really thinks is hot and is always talking about her. Or she's not emotionally available, and she's obsessed with her ex-boyfriend or another guy or whatever. These people, neither of them, no, it's not going to work. Then we have like social class compatibility. We don't like to talk about this because people get all in their feels about this, but social class and social circles are real. They have different activities. They might not mesh well. Low class, high class, proper people that are hoity-toity. And then we have like the trashy, loud people, ghetto people, and hyper snobby people. Like there's definite problems. And it's not just you. You have a family. You come with some baggage, right? And if they're like, I like him, but his family. I like her, but her family. I like him, but his friends. I like her, but her friends. It's not going to work. Then we have personal space. Some people value their independence and alone time, like a lot of introverts or a lot of people who were traumatized in life. They like to be alone. And if they need time to recharge and you're like one of those go, go, go in your face, let's do this, let's do that person, they might like you as a friend because you get them out of the house when they've been cooped up for too long, but they'd be like overwhelmed with your energy all the time and vice versa, right? So then we can go back to relationship history, like any past things that have happened. We can make them more cautious, and they could be like, you know what, I just want to have a long-term friendship. This is related to everybody because everybody gets friend zone, Teriak. Calm yourself. So anyways, then there is the perceived effort. So like if you're a guy and you're not showing enough effort, or you're showing too much where it comes off a little bit desperate and off-putting, there is a sweet spot for effort. So you don't want to be like buying people things. You don't want to be like, no, but hanging out with someone is perfect. Like nobody is losing any money by you pay for you, she pays for her, and you guys do things together. That's an actual friendship. Nobody's losing anything. Okay. So if that's the situation, that is fine. It's great to have people to talk to. And besides, even if this is not the person you end up with, you are getting social skills. You're seeing how the other side works, like with their mentality. Maybe you're seeing some red flags in this girl or this guy, and you're getting to know that stuff. Anyways, and then you have okay. No, this one is maturity levels. They could be different stages of emotional maturity or personal maturity. Too wide of an age gap. Also, it doesn't even have to do with your age. Like mentally, you could just be completely incompatible maturity-wise. Sense of humor. Like I had a lot of, I still do. I have a lot of friends that are completely racist joke tellers, and I think they're hilarious. And I thought when I was little that they were hilarious, and I would be friends with them. But I'm not gonna date someone like that. Right? Especially like I was Hispanic. I am, I guess, half, whatever. And there'd be like guys talking crap about Hispanic people. And it's a funny joke. I laugh. They laugh. They think, oh, this is okay to do. But I know what I am, and I'm not going to bring them around WA's race. Jesus Christ. But like, if I know I'm half Hispanic, why would I date you? Like, no offense. You're funny. I think it's funny, but I'm not going to bring you over. So every time you don't like something about one of my friends or family, you're like, oh, it's those type of people, huh? Like, why would I do that? I'm not going to do that. But I still think you're a friend, and I laugh. We laugh together. What are you guys talking about? Be civilized in the chat. Okay. Then we have self-esteem issues. If somebody's got low self-esteem, it could affect people's interest. Like if you have really low self-esteem, doesn't matter what you do. If you don't get your self-esteem in check, nobody's going to like you. It doesn't really matter. So sorry, deal with that. Overbearing personalities, people who are very intense and controlling. Maybe they have high anxiety. We have to do this now. Or I have, gosh, if you're a guy, I'm sorry, and you tell somebody you have anxiety, I can't think of anybody who'd be like, yes, this is the dude for me. He has anxiety. No, I'm sorry. Maybe some guys will be accepting of chicks with anxiety because like, they can like calm them down, but like the girl needs a guy to calm them down. So we can't have two crazy people in the relationship. Somebody needs to be mentally stable. Okay. Then we have maybe cultural or religious differences. Like, I know people, like, in my husband's family that they're like, if they don't have this religion, I don't care about I don't care about the personality, I don't care about anything. If they don't have my religion, I will not date them, period, end of story, blah, 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 blah. Nothing. So if you have, or like if you are, let's go back to Indian. If you're Indian and, everybody's going to only date someone from that culture, and you're like, oh, why won't they date me? Like, they're not. It's just different culture, different religions. If people are very set on dating only within that, you're out of luck. You got to accept that. Also, timing. Maybe she's right out of high school and she's going to start college, and you are a guy and you've just finished college and now you're ready to settle down and start dating, whatever. And she's like, I don't want to date anyone because I'm going to, go to college over here, and then I have to like do my master's over there, and I'm going to be going around. So it's like, I can't really do two things. It's a bad time. And then there's annoying habits. Like, I had a guy friend and he would suck his thumb. He was an adult and he was sucking his thumb. And yeah, he didn't get many. It didn't happen much for him. So don't do that. Or the other guy was biting his freaking nails, like chronically biting his nails. Like, it's weird. Don't do that. There's another guy who would like chronically like twirl his hair. I mean, that's a girl thing. Girls do that when they're nervous. They're twirling their hair and stuff. Why is a guy doing it? It's weird. Anyways, and then there is lack of ambition. If the girl perceives you as a guy having no ambition in life, it's a deterrent, of course. Like where is this going? What is the future going to be like with you? Okay, then we have intimidation. Like, if you're incredibly attractive and she feels less attractive, she's going to be like, why would I bother because I'm less attractive? Like, you have to be it has to make sense. At least for the girl. Like, the girl should be more attractive, a little bit more, or at least very equal. But a little bit more always makes the best relationships. This is not complaints about men. These are warnings. You guys have to stop getting in your feelings. It's very feminine to constantly be complaining. Okay. Different lifestyles. Night owl, early bird, introvert, extrovert. I would never be able to handle an early bird. My mom is an early bird. I cannot stand that. I can't stand people who wake up early and start banging on everything. I could not live with them. No, I hate early birds. It's a huge people who wake up early in a good mood. I don't want them around. Like, I'll be your friend afternoon, we can have a friendship, but I definitely cannot live with someone, date someone that's like, hey, what's up? It's 6 a.m. No, absolutely not. Please, no. Please run away from me. Okay, then we have more unresolved baggage, some sort of personal issue, something happened to you when in your childhood, and all you do is complain about it, or you're complaining about your ex all the time. Nobody wants to date someone who complains about things. That everybody deals with horrible stuff. Every single person that you meet has had something really bad happen to them. They have been really hurt by someone or something in the world. Every single person. And if they're like, what? Don't do that. Also, some guys and girls will become friends because they both got like cheated on or like hurt by somebody, some ex, and they just get together and they just talk smack about like their horrible relationship. That might seem like a great trauma bond, but like in reality, nobody really wants to be someone who's constantly complaining about something that happened to them. They might get off on like releasing like their traumas together, but that's not going to lead to a healthy relationship. And then it could just be like feeling pressure. Maybe the person is very forceful and you're like, I don't know you. Please give me some time to get to know you. Then there's just natural chemistry. You could just smell bad. And there's nothing, you just don't do anything. You're the nicest person, but there's nothing there. And you can tell this happens because they want to like you, because they're like, oh my gosh, You're so nice. And they might want to like you, but the second they get a little close, they back away. And it's because there's no chemistry. It makes sense on paper. It makes a logical sense, but no chemistry. I mean, remember like that study where women smell the shirt and they had chemistry with that person? And a lot of people will have a feeling about something. There's an unconscious feeling. They don't know where it came from. And then they rationalize, it must be because I don't like them. It must be because of this. It must be because they're bad for me, whatever. They did a study on memory. So people who had no short-term memory. So after a few seconds, they had no idea why. So the researcher went to shake the person's hand, walked into the room, shake the person's hand, and then he like pricked them or something on the hand as he shook the hand. And then in 5 seconds, they forgot. So the researcher is outside the room, comes back into the room, goes to shake his hand, and the person doesn't want to shake his hand. And he's like, why don't you want to shake my hand? And since the person has no memories, all they have is like this unconscious thing. They go, I just don't like shaking people's hands. They'll make up something to rationalize why they don't want to. So just because somebody doesn't want to do something, they don't like you, they don't feel comfortable with you, it could be an unconscious thing they can't even describe. So whatever they tell you is going to be nonsense. So don't even worry about it. Probably has nothing to do with you. Okay. Entitlement. If you feel that just because you're nice, that you are entitled to somebody being attracted to you, you have the wrong idea of how attraction works. That's not how it works. And it's just like, imagine if like I went up to Brad Pitt and I was super sweet to him. And then I'm like, why don't you like me? He's not going to just be like, oh my God, let me melt. He's not going to do that. It's the same way with women. All right. And then we have lack of self-improvement. If you're not working on yourself, why would anybody invest with, especially like if this is your friend, you have to look at my video on entropy. If you are like, let's say you started being friends with this person in middle school and it's like college and you're like, you're the same. Nothing has really changed, but you haven't done any better in your life. You haven't worked on yourself in any way. You're a red flag because you always need to be trying to fight against entropy. Anyways, then we have just emotional immaturity. So like if you're the type of person who throws tantrums, you can't handle rejection. So if they see like other women reject you and you have a freaking meltdown and you have a tantrum, or you start getting mad, you tell them about like this chick that you were so nice to and then she didn't sleep with you and like why did you invest all that? Like she's going to immediately go, this person is like mentally unwell. They have a lot of like problems handling rejection. They're emotional. They're like a child. They don't have any self-control. Like it's like nobody wants to walk on eggshells. So showing signs of any emotional immaturity is not good to get people to like you. And it's the same for women. There's a lot of women also throw temper tantrums all the time. We've seen them, especially in public. We all have seen the videos, and sometimes they get pulled in a cop car and they start acting out. It's fun to watch, but like you don't want to be that person. Okay, then we have neglecting personal health. This is a huge issue with a lot of my girlfriends. They tell me there's like a guy friend that they have, or a coworker that they're really close to and they really like, but the guy doesn't go to the doctor, doesn't brush their teeth, doesn't like maintain. They think that just spraying cologne, which makes everybody have allergies, it's going to help, instead of taking a bath every day. Their hair is always greasy or unkept. It's not, their beard is like weird, and like there's just no grooming going on. So like poor hygiene and poor health, like general health, like, oh, I have this weird growth on my arm, I'm never going to get that checked out, I'll just leave it alone because I'm a man. That's not what chicks like. They like people who want to be around for like the kids and stuff like that. So if you don't care about whether you live or die, this is not going to get you anyone. Even like they might really like you and they might be like, damn, he's almost perfect, but if I date him, he's just going to be dead in a couple years. Like, come on. Work on personal hygiene and your health. Also, like if you eat a lot of junk food and they're like, he's young now, but I don't see him stopping the junk food. So in a couple years, he's going to be huge. And then, he's going to have diabetes. And I'm looking at his parents. It's not looking good. So even though I really like him and I wish he would just rise to the challenge of life, he's not doing it. Then you have like just poor social skills. So if you can't read social cues, like a lot of us, hey, we're on the spectrum, right? We don't know what's going on. Like, what does that face mean? Do you like me or not? What's going on with you? If you don't know social cues, you don't have a lot of social skills, you spend a lot of time alone, indoors, you don't get a lot of sunlight, you're going to have problems with that. And you should probably date within whatever bracket of the spectrum you reside. It'll just be easier. Then we have sexual inexperience or overconfidence. So it could be either or. So like if you're a man whore or you're like a virgin, whatever, and they're like the opposite or whatever it is, they could just feel like this is not a match. Because usually, I know people hate to say this, but in the vast majority, people usually date the same. So if you're inexperienced, they're inexperienced. If you're overactive, they're overactive. And it actually makes sense because what doesn't tend to work out is like if you are like, let's say, overactive, and then they're like super, super virginal. And then you get together and like they don't want to put out because like that wasn't really a part of their thing. They're not really into that stuff. Like they can take it or leave it. And then you have like this mismatch. And that's where you see the guys go online and then they get addictions. Like it's a big mess. So try to make sure you're on the same page with this. Same thing like with religion and morals, and try to find like a match. Avoidance of responsibility. This goes back to blaming others for personal shortcomings or not owning up to mistakes. This is a deal breaker. Let's say something bad happens to you. You don't acknowledge your part in it because we're a part of our lives, whether we like it or not. Most crimes are not you're walking down the street and somebody like attacks you from behind. You usually know the person, the perpetrator, so you've allowed them into your life. So you have to like just. Also, it helps you deal with whatever happened. Just accepting responsibility, even if it was mostly the other person's fault. You were just too nice or whatever it is. Too nice is still your fault. You were too nice. Anyways, so accept responsibility for your part in situations that you don't like. Don't blame the economy because you lost all your money. Girls hate that. Blaming the world. Oh, all women are this, all men are this, blaming, like whatever. Accept your part in the situation. Some people are always doing well in every situation in life. Why don't, instead of complaining, learn from the people who are doing well? Lack of empathy, just not being able to empathize. I mean, I remember there was this one guy I knew, and like if somebody hurt themselves, he would just stare at them, and it was really creepy. And then he'd be like, why doesn't anyone want to date me? And I'm just like, like when people are hurt, you just stare at them. Like there's nothing behind the eyes. Probably a psychopath, right? So, I mean, if you are, you just have to know it, I guess, and find other people like you. Then it's just like insecurity, just being overwhelmingly insecure. It'll manifest by like not being able to get good relationships, and you feel like a burden rather than having like a joyful time with people. People won't like you. Unresolved anger issues, any sort of anger management stuff will scare people away. It's going back to emotional control, stability. Objectification. So like this is mainly for guys, but girls do it now too, because girls have become very masculinized. So when you view the opposite sex as just sexual objects rather than a whole person that has feelings, then, they might not. But it's still fun to like, look, I have friends that like, they just say these type of things and it's funny, but I would never like recommend them for anybody for a relationship. So, but it's still funny. Be their friend. Haha. Laugh at them. Financial responsibility. Irresponsibility is a big one. chronic financial mismanagement or reliance on others for financial support. That's never a turn on, especially after a certain age. Not having mobility in your career, if you're still entry level 10 years later and things are just not moving, or the career looks like it's going to end soon and you're not trying to pivot, find something else. Not being able to support a family if they want a family, not being able to save, not being able to have investments, overspending on nonsense. This makes all women angry. Sorry, it does. The same thing with like, do you want a woman that has like 5,000, I don't know, purses or something like that? Like, you'd probably be like, this is a liability, unless you're Jeff Bezos or super rich. Then it's no sweat for you because it's like a penny for the rest of us. But for normal people, that could be off-putting. All right, we did the poor hygiene. Let's also talk about how, like, the clothing. People don't like to hear this one. I actually helped one of my friends in high school with the clothing situation. People get mad at this, but it is true. You are judged by how you look. It is what it is. Deal with it. And he was just wearing cartoon baggy t-shirts and baggy jeans and sneakers that were dirty every single day, the same thing. And he's just like, why don't girls like me? I have a good job. I'm doing this and blah, blah, blah. And I just was like, okay, look. And then I went with him and a couple of our girlfriends to the mall and we got him adult human clothing. It made a huge difference. And then we would go out like to house parties and stuff like that. And then people would come up to him and then we'd be like, you see, we freaking told you. And then he was like, all right, fine. And now he's married. Not to us, but we still helped him. So take that as you will. Victim mentality. Always seeing yourself as a victim in every situation. The economy, this, I went through this before, but it needs to be repeated. Socially awkward. It can also cross into rudeness or disrespect. It's just like, if you're just socially awkward in general, there's those people that like, they are very stringent. Like if plans change, they freak out, or at the last minute, they want to change plans and they disrupt everything. People don't want to be around them after a while. You might be my friend, but like, I'm not going to hang out with you like long-term. Like there's this one guy. Oh gosh, really don't like it. Not a good person. Okay. I mean, I'm sure he's trying, blah, blah, blah. But we were going to see this movie that we saw like 18 times. We'd go to see this movie like all the time, like my huge friend group, like 30 people, whatever. And we'd love to see this movie. And we would get like a theater. So it was just us in the middle of the day on like an awkward day of the week so that we can yell and scream at the screen, like kids. We're having fun. So we invited him for the first time. And then at the last minute, we're about to buy tickets. He puts his feet down and he's like, I'm not watching this movie. I've seen this before. This is not what I want to watch. And he's just making a huge scene. And we're all like, what is wrong with you? We agreed to do this. I picked you up so that we could, and then she just wouldn't stop. And he just kept complaining. And then he's like, well, I'm not buying this, whatever. And then everybody else got mad and they went to the movie. And since I picked this idiot up, I had to go and drop him off. And then I couldn't go see the movie. And I was so upset. And I was just like, freaking, I don't think I hung out with him much after that. I mean, he's come to a few things, but good luck. The other one is dishonesty. Like if you're just like, you love lying, you love making up stuff, people are not going to trust you. If you cheat to I don't know, like to make money, whatever, if you're doing all this stuff nefarious, if somebody wants to have like a good life where they're not worried about the IRS, they're not going to like you. Neglecting friendships. It could signal how that you could neglect romantic partners. So if you're kind of like not good at maintaining friendships, people keep going in and out, it could be a bad sign. Lack of initiative. So just like waiting for things to happen in your life rather than going out there and making things happen. It's just seen like laziness, lack of drive, no real interests. Okay. So things you need to look out for to see if you have a chance, if like, for guys, if the chick likes you. So if you're alone for a while, you're hanging out, she might put her arm around you, get up close against you, sit close to you, lean in a little bit too much. If she might say she's cold, so you warm her up, say my shoulder hurts, you give her a little massage, whatever. Things like that are little hints. But if she's kind of like, if you kind of go to hug her or you kind of go to like do anything to her and she kind of flinches back or whatever, then she's not interested. So you have to look out for like micro expressions, and you want to look for the, and then it might go away quickly, but you want to look out for that. Or just like this, like you don't want that. Oh my gosh. Anyways, let's see. So it's also totally okay to hang out with someone for a long time and then let something blossom, if you will, over a long period of time. I know lots of friends that they were friends for like 5-6 years, and then they kind of looked at each other differently one day, right? It happens all the time. Married, kids now, lots of people with that situation. So just because it's been 5 days I've seen this friend, why am I in the friend zone? Like, you people are just like, I think it's the TikTok brain. There's a TikTok brain. There's like, I need instant gratification. If I want to like jerk it, I can go on this website in 5 seconds. I'm doing that. If I want like food, and I can order on this app. If I want this, I can. Why isn't everything in my lap? Fall in my lap. That's not how relationships work. They don't fall in your lap. They are created over time. And you don't like to hear this, but the longer it takes to build up before you get together, the longer it lasts. I know you guys hate that. You're like, why can't it be 2 seconds? God forbid. The next is, I think we already did racist and sexist comments, generally offensive. It's funny, but like, I don't want to take you around certain people, like conservative family or friends, a boss. I don't want to be embarrassed, but you're funny. I'll be your friend. Lack of passion for anything. Like, there's nothing in your life that you really are working towards. Trying too hard is really off-putting. There's like, I liked this specific type of music, and there's this guy in the friend group that he kind of had a crush on me. So he started wearing like band t-shirts, and I asked him, do you know anything about that? Because I knew what was going on. It's very obvious. He's like, oh, he couldn't say a song or anything about the band. So it's like, come on, bro. Unwillingness to change, being very stubborn and resisting any sort of self-improvements. People don't like that. Also, this is from Homath, all right? This is not me, but I want you to just peer at this. Okay, this is how people date. This is how women date. This is how men date. Like, you could see men are okay like this, down, 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 down. But women are not. Women only want this. So if you go look at Homath's video on that, if you are not making sure the attractiveness scales make sense in this way, it's not going to work. But I do know friends that in the beginning, one of them was way less attractive and then worked on themselves and then became more attractive and then got the person. That happens all the time. I was also very unattractive at one point, believe it, when I was young. And I had a lot of guy friends, and they would tell me, you're so cool. It's a shame, the face or whatever it is. It's a shame, the face. If only that could be fixed. And then someday it was fixed. And then they're like, oh, you're cute now. I'm like, too late, I'm married. Haha. But it happens. The other thing is, a lot of guys, girls don't do it because girls understand the game. The game is you got to be a certain level of attractiveness. Girls know if a guy doesn't like them, they're just not attractive yet, or maybe ever. Right? You can try to get more attractive, but it's not the guy's fault that you're not attractive. So like, girls are more understanding of that. Like, I wasn't attractive. But a guy will be like, when I was 6,000 pounds overweight, broke, living in my mom's basement with, a corn addiction or something like that, you didn't want me. So you're not going to get me now that I got my life together, a 6-pack, like sports cars and 5 houses. What? Of course, nobody wanted you back then. Why are you getting mad at the girl for not wanting that? Because if she was in the basement, 6,000 pounds overweight, you wouldn't want her either. So you guys have to stop holding it against people. Anyways, that's my little thing. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story. What are you talking about? I'm going to tell you guys a little story about the importance of male and female friendships, because we used to have friends back in the day before you guys went crazy and said, no, women are just for mating with. I don't know what the hell is going on. Anyways, when I was younger, I met a boy in an AOL chat room. I'm very old. I know we've already discussed that. We met up at the mall. I brought some of my female friends and he brought some of his male friends, because obviously I'm not meeting some stranger by myself. That's creepy. So I brought my friends. He brought his friends. We're hanging out, whatever. Go to movies, whatever. And then the next weekend we start all hanging out in the group too. And we decided after a couple weeks, we didn't like each other, right? We're like, it's not really there. And that's fine. He friend zoned me, by the way, so you know. And I was like, cool, no problem, whatever. But we all kept in touch. We kept hanging out, my friends, his friends, and then their friends and their friends. And then it kind of kept growing, right? And then more friend groups started coming in. And then eventually, because of us meeting on a little chat room and friend zoning and still being friends, we have 4 marriages in the group, 4 of his friends and 4 of my friends. And eventually, like the 8 people's lives were changed, got together, and they made children, right? So every time another pregnancy is announced, another marriage was announced, whatever, he would message me like, we got another one, all because of us on that chat room. Look, we have another person in the world, like another happy couple, another person. And yeah, we don't like each other, but friendly. And look at what we did by doing that, expanding the friend group. We created babies, just because he friend zoned me, but I didn't get all freaking up in my feels. All right. So like we created love and joy and new humans in the world. So obviously we don't hang out anymore. Our interests don't align. We have families. We're married with kids, whatever, but we still enjoy seeing that stuff pop up in our feed, another kid. And eventually there's going to be freaking grandchildren. All right. Because of us friend zoning each other. So like, let's try to be meta, You can't see the forest for the trees. I know you guys are so freaking narcissistic. Me. What about me? Instead of being so freaking narcissistic with everything you guys do, try to think about like, maybe this person isn't for me, but if we're friendly and like I introduce them to my friends and they introduce me to their friends and we all like get cordial and hang out, maybe we can do something else. And also, not my friend directly, but one of their friends, so like maybe like 3 steps back, is the one that he married, right? So he's got kids, like 3, 4 kids now, because of one of my girlfriend's friends, right? That he married. Okay. I know it's complicated, but that's how friendship works. So, I mean, just when you meet somebody, think long and hard that if you meet up this beautiful woman, let's say, and nothing is there romantically, but you're able to expand your friend groups, create happiness in other people that you claim to value because you say they're your friends, that's still worth something. So we have to remember that we are a community. And even though maybe you get mutually friend zoned, but you can have some house parties, hang out, long nights talking with your friends, and we've helped each other get jobs, dates with other people, meetings, like whatever, with clients and stuff like that. Everything has been mutually beneficial. It's called a network, right? No person is an island. You're not going to get a girlfriend and then go into some freaking middle of nowhere place and just lock her in a box, okay? You need to have friends. We're not talking about female friends. We're just talking about friend groups, right? Okay. Anyways, so everybody needs to take a long, hard look at themselves. I know you guys got into your feelings a lot. There was a lot of feelings in the chat I saw. And I feel like, in a couple hours when you calm down and then you go back, it'll make more sense. But right now you're just really triggered, and that's okay. You guys can be triggered. We're not talking about female friends today. We're talking about friend zoning. Okay. So anyways, not everything's instant gratification. In the real world, healthy people have boundaries, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time. And if you make yourself a better person, maybe the person that you like will like you. And I'm going to use myself as an example. When I was young, I wasn't that great to look at. All right. I'm just going to say it. When I was very young. Okay. Then guess what? I worked on myself. I got better looking. And then the friend zone person liked me. Okay. It happens. And then you can decide, do I want them or not? Whatever. But a lot of guys, again, I'm going to say this again. They go, well, you didn't like me when I was 4,000 pounds overweight and broke, living in a basement, crying every day with my corn addiction. You didn't like me then, so you don't deserve me now. Don't be that guy. Okay. Don't be that guy. Work on yourself. Work on the little list. Girls, 2 guys, 2. Everybody needs to work on the list. When you are the person that deserves the other person, you'll find someone just like you want, right? Because it's going to match your energy. Everything is energy, matching energy. Everything is like with like. You also realize that like the same IQ dates the same IQ. I didn't mention that, but it's important to note. If the IQ is really different, it's not going to work out, right? So you have to be careful about that. Look at HOMAth's looks charts. What is like likely relationships chart? This is important. Look at that one. He has a whole thing on it you can check out. And that is all for today. And I understand that it's just a call to work on yourself, fix your mindset, fix your looks if those are the problems, fix whatever the problem is about you. If you're constantly complaining, if you're whatever, like all the things we went over today, if those are your problems, why don't you just fix them instead of complaining that nobody likes you for the mess you currently are? No, you guys are not forever alone. Stop complaining. Oh my gosh, if I can look better when I wasn't looking better, you guys can too. I believe in you. Believe in you. Believe in yourself. Where's believe in yourself? He's the only positive vibes. We're missing our positive vibes for today. He's the only positive one. You guys need to be positive. Okay. Oh my God, you guys. Anyways, good luck, guys. Energy and mindset is very important. If you guys have this negative mindset, what are you going to attract? Because you attract what you believe is out there. So please work on your mindset. See, it's true. See, chicks are telling you it's true. Why can't you believe us? Sometimes we don't lie. Sometimes. Who the hell is Chad and Tyrone? What are you talking about? You're talking about like these fake alpha guys that like date these girls with no dad. We want good. I don't want you to be with some woman because she's got like no dad and doesn't trust men, and you just yell at her and she feels safe, because I don't want that. I want you to be with someone emotionally healthy. So that means I need you to be emotionally healthy, mentally healthy, good mindset. Okay? So anyways, oh God, just reading you guys this. Oh my gosh. Anyways, okay, have a nice day, you guys. Like, subscribe, comment below. Please like, subscribe, or else you're a hoe. Good night, everyone.
Start the revolution, let the truth begin. Wake up, defeating lies. Control the media's got you hypnotized. Trust authority, they'll take your soul. Break the chains, find your own control.